for a little bit, and then she cheered me on, and she told me just before I got to the base of the last climb, she said I have 5 minutes on him, so I had put like another couple minutes on, and then I just put my head down and ground out the last climb, and then I was a little concerned that I would do myself in on the last climb, and then not be able to, that I wouldn't bounce back for the descent. But I saved 8 ounces of Coke, and I just drank it when I got to the top. And then it took a little bit, but my legs got it.
Is that what you had in that bottle?
Not that bottle. That bottle was like electrolytes.
Okay.
But my bottles up here, I had Coke in it.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I think I did that in an interview. I was doing an interview somewhere, and I was like, so I had my Coca-Cola. And then, so I drank that, and I got in my rhythm. And I just it was like I was just out for a 10-mile run then. Like, I felt so good from there on. When I had to go up, it didn't feel so good, because there was like a slight rise to Les Fligiers, but then like Les Fligiers was like 8K to go. I didn't know there was gonna be an aid station there, and there was, and so then I drank more Coke, and then I was like, how far is it? And they were like 8K, and then I just took off. And like I like at the end I told my parents, like, if they asked me to keep running, I could have kept going.
You did. You went back.
Yeah. But I was just in a high point. Like you have your highs and lows, and I had my low like at the perfect time, I guess. And so the end was all really good. But I think part of it was I just got hot in the middle. I'm still curious to see if I can do a race with no low points. If I wouldn't have gotten over. Like, I think I just got hot, and I got dehydrated, and probably behind on calories. And once that got really rough, I started then I had my crew with me, so I started taking 2 handheld bottles, 2 flasks. So I was taking it down probably 50 ounces of fluid in 6 to 10 mile sections. And it was so I was just pounding a lot of fluid, and then I ran well. So
First,
I just have to drink.
First American, did that drive you, try harder? Are you thinking about that at the end?
Well, I mean, I didn't know that there hadn't ever been an American to. I knew the Americans historically haven't done very well there, but I didn't know that we had never won any of those races.
Yeah.
American men, Rory Bosio, and I think, who's the other gal that won UTMB? So is it Silky or no? So there's 2 girls, at least 2 American women who have won UTMB. Yeah. But no, I didn't. I wasn't really thinking about that. I'm trying to think what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I was thinking I wanted to do it for the people back home in Pennsylvania and the people back in Colorado, and and all that. But I didn't know that no American had ever won that.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to beat the Europeans without wizard sticks.
Yeah. So you're running into town, and there's more and more people along the course. It's getting more exciting. Just describe that. What's that like?
That was incredible. Yeah, as you go, there's a couple people. And then there starts to be lines, and then eventually it's just they're rows deep, and I mean it was probably a quarter mile of just wall to wall people.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I mean it was so loud because they're yelling over the microphone, but then all the people are so loud.
Yeah.
And they were all they're all trying to slap high fives, which I'm not really a high five slapper in a finish shoot because I'm so focused getting there.
Yeah.
But then once I crossed the line, it was I just went back through, and everybody wanted a high five.
It was a good jump at the finish line. I caught some good air.
I know. I think that Nike photographer was laying on the ground because it wasn't that high. I don't think.
Was that planned out, or was that just a split second?
No, that was split second. Oh, here comes the finish line. I didn't think much. I just kind of reacted.
Yeah.
And that was what I came up with, I guess.
I mean, I know you go to the starting line thinking, you're going to run hard and try to win, but any clue stepping up that at the end you would be in first place? You know, how'd you feel?
Yeah, I thought I had a good shot at winning, but the Europeans are tough, and their courses are tough.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard to win on their turf, you know. And the French guy was the one I had my eye on like the whole race. Like he was the one I was most worried about. Well, him and my teammate Tim Tollefson.
Yeah.
You know, is very strong. And you know, Tim caught me in Switzerland in La Folie. We ran together for a little bit, and he sounded awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like Tim's in great. It amazed me because he seemed so fresh in La Folie, and then he told me that when we went up that climb, which was like 2 minutes, which was right after La Folie, he said he just fell apart there, which, because I think that climb is relatively small, and we were together at the bottom, and I think by the top I had a 5-minute lead. Yeah. So, but I mean, I ran the climb, and I knew he would probably hike it, because that's how it was going all day. Basically, every time we got to a climb, I would run, and everybody else and the people with me would hike. Yeah. And that's how I was. That's how I pulled away going up into Switzerland. Yeah.
When did you take over Barr Camp?
Like early June.
And you and so.
Well, I mean, off and on in June, and then start up permanent in July.
So you got some great training in up there, preparing for the must have.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of days I was really tired because between working at the camp and then doing everything at 10,000 feet, it gets kind of exhausting. But I guess it worked. I said to people, I was like, I'm either going to be really strong or really tired for my next ultra, and I guess I was really strong.
So in training, did you run the summit a bunch, or?
A few times. I think I had 1 week where I did it like 3 times in 1 week. Yeah. Or like 3 times within a period of like 5 days. Yeah. But I kind of tried to ease into it. I started out, I do a lot of runs kind of 12,000 feet and below. Yeah. And then as the weather improved and I got kind of adjusted to being up there, then I started going to the summit more. Yeah. But eventually I was probably going about once a week to the summit. And started doing workouts above tree line. So either there or on the up park trail. Yeah. And going out to the above tree line section and running hard above tree line.
What was the elevation gain in this race?
There were 20,000 feet of climbing. So, 20,000 up. I don't know what the down was. Right. It would have been roughly the same, I think. Yeah. But the highest point was like 8,000 feet. So I was like,
you were acclimated.
That'll be fine. I was like, that's 2,000 feet lower than I sleep. Yeah. So yeah, like Tim Tollefson, I felt fine with the altitude because like the towns were at like 3, the passes were at like 8, and both of us, I live at 10.2 and he lives at like 8,000. So when we got up there, it was just
no big deal for it.
It didn't really feel any different than anything else. Yeah. So, but
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, awesome job, man.
Thanks.
We are so impressed.
Yeah.
Where did Tim pass the Frenchman?
Oh, so that was also awesome because with the Nike team, we love that we're like a team. And we love running together. And so with Tim, it actually played out fairly well. Like we didn't really set team tactics, but we were together near the beginning. And then he got passed by the Frenchman going into Champex, and then he repassed the Frenchman on the last climb. So what we kind of think maybe happened is the Frenchman saw me in Trient, and we're thinking he probably pushed really hard to try and catch me going up out of Trient. And then after we're thinking he just pushed really hard, and after that he just had nothing left. Because then Tim caught him and passed him and put probably 10-15 minutes on him. Yeah. He was just kind of done. He said when he passed him he was like grunting. And
he doesn't sleep at 10,000 feet.
Probably not. I think it's probably not in France. Probably not in France.
What point did you take the lead in the race? How many miles in?
Oh, probably about a mile in. I was at the front right away.
And kept it the whole way?
Yeah, pretty much. Tim passed me briefly in La Folie, and then, we kind of ran side by side. But that was, I didn't necessarily try to go right to the lead. Yeah. But I was just kind of running my pace, and once we really started. Not really, but once the climbing started to get a little more significant because the first bit's on the road. Yeah. As we started to climb the road, I just kind of naturally ended up at the front,
Yeah.
and then in the front, and then
You like running at the front?
everybody just kind of tucked. Yeah, I like running. I can see everything.
Yeah.
I don't have to. It gives, I like being able to see where I'm going, and
Yeah.
and then I just pick my rhythm.
Right.
And I don't know if that suits the other people, but
Yeah.
they just filed in. So,
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was kind of I guess it was kind of a wire to wire win.
Yeah.
There were slight times when I wasn't in the lead, but
Yeah.
So,
Awesome, man.
but yeah.
Nice work. Good job.
Thank you.